Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week, and the week that we're going into next, concludes what has been certainly a very turbulent period for Tesla. The question is though, where do we go next? In the last couple of days we've seen Tesla stock booking its second best ever day gain. However, analysts are cutting price targets, and again there's a number of reasons for this which we're going to look into over the course of this video, but you can see the trend on Tesla over the past, say, 6 months, not even really that, even less than that. We're now looking at Tesla being down nearly 50% from its highs around about December, January time to where we are now. The question is, where does this go though? If you look at the past month, you can see this massive rise that we saw, 22% in a single day, I do believe, as we saw, markets kind of rebound in a really large way. However, since then, the stock is down ever so slightly, around about 7%. Where do we go from here? Well, a lot of analysts are beginning to cut their price targets. What we're looking at is Tesla soaring 22.6% during Wednesday, of course, of last week, the second largest day gain, as President Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs essentially were changed, right? He paused them, as we know. So several firms in the auto sector essentially have seen, big changes, and Tesla is one of them. A big thing to note here is that the tariffs of 25% on automobile imports went into effect on April the 3rd. And this is obviously going to affect certain auto parts, making it potentially more expensive to produce vehicles like Teslas. Even if a lot of Teslas are domestically made in America, not all of the parts are. And therefore, this whole tariff thing could have an impact on this space too, and on this company. We're seeing a lot of analysts now start to change their price targets, some good, some bad. We are seeing Mizo lower their price target from 430 to 375. So this is still an outperform rating. However, the analysts note that Trump's 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs does not apply to auto and auto parts, and therefore they believe that this will result in continued uncertainty and negative impacts. At the same time, UBS cut their target to 190 from 225. And they actually have a sell rating. So they broadly noted the Trump's new trade policies and how the manufacturing costs for vehicles will increase, and that will increase consumer prices and negatively affect demand. So we are seeing them also downgrade General Motors. It's not exclusive to Tesla. But, they're not the only ones, right? We are now seeing a lowering of expectations from Goldman Sachs. They are now looking at an estimate of 260 down from 275, so they remain neutral on their rating and shares. However, they have obviously acknowledged a few things and the impacts on the auto industry, which again makes sense if you think about this. It is certainly a difficult time. They also downgraded Ford, so again Tesla is not the only one for them. And again, one major component that we've not really spoken about up until this point in the video is the broader effects. We know that the auto tariffs are going to impact, almost all car companies in the US, but how about Tesla itself? Because Tesla is going through a very specific, you could say, brand identity crisis. We know about the tariffs, we've spoken about that in detail, but according to the Wedbush analyst Dan Ives, a long-term bull on Tesla, for example, he speaks about how Elon Musk and his politics essentially have created a brand crisis, the perfect storm for Tesla. Tesla is less exposed to tariffs than other automakers, but there will still be a clear cost impact. At the same time, again, the bigger worry, in their opinion, for Tesla's success in China is this key region. This is where a lot of Tesla sales come from. And he also added that the backlash from Trump tariff policies in China and Musk's association will be hard to understate. And this will further drive consumers in China to buy domestic vehicles such as BYD, NIO, and XPeng vehicles. So, essentially, this is really a bad time for Tesla. Tesla has become a political symbol globally, and this is a brand crisis. So, it's now kind of a tornado, in their words. It's more now than just a series of vehicles or a series of tariff policies. This in itself as a brand appears to be a political statement at the minute. And all analysts appear to be downgrading their opinions quite significantly. Let me know what you think to this in the comments, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, do give it a like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye.